Good evening, fellow vapors. This is Cass, and today I'm back at you with another vape review. Yes, today we are going to be looking at this bad boy. Now, this bad boy is the Emperor kit from Steepd Vape Co. Now, we've looked at one of their kits before. It was their quick kit, the Steepd quick kit, which was like a starter kit pen type. Well, these guys have now come out with a big, much more powerful machine, which we're going to be taking a much closer look at today. So, to get into the basics of what this is, it's a sub-ohm tank. It's got a 3200 mAh battery, and it's running at the equivalent of 60 watts on a full charge. It's a big battery. I mean, you've got the 2mm tank, you've got sort of a new airflow system. It's like a top-down airflow system, and you've also got top filling as well. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get straight down into the up and close. We're going to pull this thing apart, see how it goes back together, and then we're going to come back up. We're going to have a vape of it, and we're going to see what we think of essentially a contender to kits like the Freemax Twister kit or the Prince kit. You know, it's very popular to have a sub-ohm, high-power pen device now. Simply, you know, they're convenient, and you get a good vape on them. So let's go have a look close up at this device and show you how it works. Okay, this is the box that the Steepd Vape Co. Emperor comes in. Let's get it out, have a look what's inside. So we have the battery, we have the tank, and we have some spares. This is what I can only assume is the instruction manual. Slide those over there. First things first, the tank. It's quite a chunk. This is 25mm wide as far as I'm aware, with your top airflow there. Well, we'll take a closer look at this in just a second, but that is the tank itself. This one is serial 0004. It's quite a low serial number. Right, and this is the battery itself. Again, this is a 3200 mAh battery capable of 60 watts, but we'll go into that in a second. Let's have a look at what spares we get. So those are those two there. Let's have a look at the spares. So we get a spare coil that's in there. These are OCC mesh coils, I believe. We get some spare O-rings as per. I've never actually used the spare O-rings on a device that comes with. And we get a charging cable. Note to all companies out there, a charging cable this length is next to useless. I get that you have to provide them, but take a leaf out of SX Mini's book and provide a decent one, because it will make a difference. Right, so that's what you get in the box. All right, let's slide all of this stuff out of the way and have a look. Right, so the Emperor itself, the battery is 3200 mAh, like I just said. It is 60 watts maximum. What we have here, charging port and button, and look, we have display lights. We always like some display lights. So let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns the device on, and it lights up with the 4 lights. And as you can see, 3 out of 4 of the lights are on when I press the button. I mean, it's at 75% or, well, between 50 and 75%, or is it? No, it's 75 and 100%, because when all 4 are on, it's at 100% battery. Then obviously you've got your 50%, 25%, and then they go red when it is out of battery. It's fairly simple design. You've got a nice, as you can quite see there, a nice proud button. Now, when you've got a proud button like this, it is worth obviously turning it off when it goes into things like pockets. It's worth making sure that it is not going to get pressed against anything, because when you've got a tank this big, auto firing will definitely become an issue if it's sat in your pocket, and believe me, a coil this hot, you'll notice it. It is a chunk. It fills the hand quite nicely, but then you see that just roll away there for like no reason at all. It is a chunk. It fills the hand quite nicely, but then it needs to be to hold this tank here. If it was anything smaller, it'd look silly. Quite impressed by that. I like the little touches on the side. I think that's nice there that you've got those straight into the side of the battery. They haven't gone for multicolored lights around the button, which seems to be quite a common thing. This is actually quite a nicely developed little battery. Obviously you've got, see, the thing is, right, this is top airflow. Having these channels on the top is an old school thing where your airflow used to go in the base. Now it just seems to be tradition to have these on here. I don't suppose these channels provide any real actual practical purpose, but hey, it is what it is. Brass 510 pin in there. Yeah, that's the battery itself. Let's have a look at the tank. So the tank itself here, you have got a lovely wide bore drip tip on top and top airflow. Now the top airflow is quite stiff. Oh god, that is stiff. So the top airflow, there we go, that's better. So all the way closed, all the way open, and it locks. It doesn't free spin, it goes to one, stops, goes to the other, and turns. To take the top off, we twist and pull. So as you can see here, you've got these two locator notches which match up, I don't know if you can see that, with two locator notches just on the inside there. And you've got this lovely big seal to stop any juice leakage, but obviously you can fill in either side. I like it when they put two holes, because when they put two holes, it means that air can come out one and juice can go in the other. So just sort of turn it until it locks and then push and twist. It'll only twist 45 degrees and then that's locked in. I haven't had any issue with it coming off, so that's pretty solid there. To get to the coil, you hold the tank and unscrew the base, and this coil pulls out. Quite a wide, stubby coil, but it's mesh, as you can probably see just in there. You can see the mesh inside that coil. Excuse my fingernail there, that is not dirt, that is oil paint. Black oil paint. Stuff just does not come off. Anyway, so you've got the mesh coil, nice giant juice holes there, and this thing just pushes straight in. So we just pop it in like so, and obviously remember to prime this. What I would tend to do is, you see you've got the juice holes in there, I'd line it up like that. Make sure they're nicely lined up. This is a 2mm capacity, and as far as I can tell, there's no way to expand this unless they release a bubble glass. There's no removable insert or anything that I've come across there. This is fully TPD compliant. I don't think there's any way to get around that. Some tanks you get a rubber insert that you can pull out. Other tanks, the glass is bigger. Whether Steepd will release a bigger tank, I do not know. Let's pop this on top and see how it looks. There we go. It is a chunk. I'll give them that. This is a big pen device. But then you've got things out there like the Freemax, that's large. You've got the print stick, that's huge as well. So I'm not really that bothered. If you're going to want a large sub-ohm vape, then this is definitely one to check out, simply because I think it could be a contender for, a contender against some of these other bigger name brand vapes. This feels like it's going to be a nice vape. You've got plenty of airflow here in the top, obviously fully adjustable. You've got plenty of power, so it's going to power this coil here, because you're going to need a lot of power to power said coil. And let's have a look. This is removable. I wonder if it's standard 810, because if you can put your own drip tip in it, don't want to accidentally fire the coil, that would be embarrassing. Yeah, so that looks like it's a standard 810. The O-rings are on the inside of that. So if you've got a flush fitting 810, that'll just click in there. You can probably put your own tip on top. It's nice. And I think if you're running at 60 watts, you're going to need that large 3200 mAh battery. Definitely going to need that. So yeah, and I think that about covers it. So it looks like a fairly solidly built device. It's easy to get the coil out. It's easy to fill. There's nothing overly complex about it. I like the filling system where you twist and pull. I think that works really nicely. And then you just sort of find the locator, push it down and twist again. That's not coming off there on its own accord. And it's definitely not leaking. I mean, you saw the size of that O-ring. Wonderful. There we go. Right, we're going to go back up to the top. We're going to have a vape on it. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of this device. And we shall wrap this up. So yeah, that is the up and close of the Steepd Vape Co. Emperor. Okay, so we're back. You've had a look at it. What do you think? Let's get down to the sort of nitty-gritty and the details. So, like I mentioned, this is a 3200 mAh battery. That is a large battery. And I think that's good, because even if you don't like the tank on top, it's still enough power and enough battery life to run your favorite drippers, sub-ohm tanks, rebuildables, all of those things. You've got a lot of power in this battery, so for that, it is good. The coil system is quite an effective coil system. It's super easy to use. You just sort of pull it out and it comes out. It's super easy to fill. Obviously you've got the twist and pull to fill the device, which is nice. Haven't found any issues with that. I've been using this a couple of weeks now, and I found that when it was new, getting that on and twisting it on was quite tricky, and the same for getting it off, and I found myself unscrewing the tank more than I did the lid. Flavour on this. Let's have a vape of it. At the moment I've got, the super good rum ting in it, which is a banana, pineapple and cherry, which is an absolutely lovely flavour. So let's have a vape on this, and we'll continue to talk a little bit more about it. It's a quality of life thing that I think I like about this. Is on the side of here, you've obviously got that battery indicator. Now, the nice thing is that battery indicator actually fills up as it charges, so you know how long you've got until it is fully charged. You also know how long you've got until it's empty. That is a nice little addition to this. A lot of the time, you just get a light up button or some different colors, but to actually have a readable meter of lights is a nice little thing. The biggest downfall of this is the capacity. Now, as far as I'm aware, there is a 5mm bubble glass available for this. However, due to the nature of this super wide chimney, I found that almost every single time I fill it, if I squeeze the juice slightly too hard, because you've got such a small gap down into that tank, the juice simply can't flow fast enough into the tank, and it ends up either airlocking or coming back up out the top of the fill holes. So you do have to fill this tank slowly, which can be a little inconvenient, having to sort of give it a squeeze, let it run through, give it a squeeze, let it run through. I don't have the 5mm bubble glass, so to see if that's any different with the 5mm bubble glass would be interesting, but I just don't have it. I haven't found there being any leaking issues with this. The one thing that is a bit strange is that it's a very open airflow, but somehow it still feels weirdly restricted. For something that is such a massive airflow, that feels like it should be ridiculously airy and have no resistance. But when I vape on it, I still feel like there's some resistance going on. I haven't really tried it shut down. I mean, we can give it a go now. So this is shut down to halfway. It's a little better, it's a little hotter. The coils are good. This has been going for a couple of weeks and it's showing no sign of fading or the flavour fading or any kind of burning taste. And this isn't a particularly sweet juice. This juice has got no sweeteners in it, so I don't expect it to be killing coils quickly. But this coil has survived really nicely. The flavour has been consistent and there was no real bedding in time, which you get with a lot of tanks. You got to give it an hour or two of vaping it before you get the full flavour out of your juice. Battery life, I found using this all day. It lasts me sort of, I'd say, between 6 to 7 hours. If I put probably a lower powered tank on it, I imagine it would last a lot longer. Obviously, this is a 0.2 ohm OCC mesh coil, so it is going to be sucking power, but I haven't really had any issues as it's not lasting long enough. The battery definitely does last a good amount of time. It is 60 watts like equivalent, but obviously it's going to be running at the maximum it can until it starts to run out of battery, and I've noticed that it does feel quite anemic when you start to get low on battery. Once you get down to about 50%, that's when it starts to feel like it's dropping off, but up until that point it's really strong, solid power, and you're getting a really good hit. I'd love to try it with the bubble glass. I think that would be the changer for it. As far as size, I mean, as you can see, it is a bit of a chunk, but it's not particularly heavy, and I haven't found it getting in the way or unable to carry it, but it is a bit of a chunk, but it is nicely done. It'd be nice to have one in like a matte black. I think that would look sick, or maybe some kind of design, but I've got the silver one, and it does the job. It's simple, it's nice. You've got all of these bevels on, so you can grip it, changing it's easy, cleaning it out's easy. It's a good device. I mean, price-wise, you're looking at like 45 quid, which is not bad, considering there are much lesser devices out there. The Nunchaku kit's 70 quid. Okay, granted, you have to put a battery in that, but even then, you're still not getting 3,200 mAh. So £45, or give or take, for something of this caliber is really not to be shouted at. The flavour's good, the coils last, and the battery life is extensive enough that it's going to last you all day. I mean, I use it literally all day, so for it to last sort of 6 to 7 hours is really good. Someone who doesn't vape quite as much will definitely get longer out of it. I think I have tried it with different tanks on top just to sort of see what the battery can do, and I used a rebuildable Dorg RTA, and that worked beautifully on it. That was wonderful. So I'm not really finding any lacking in power. It's just a decent kit. It's not going to break the bank. The flavour's good, and if you get a 5mm bubble glass on there, you're absolutely winning. The 2mm is restrictive. You do find yourself filling it up quite a lot because this thing absolutely chugs juice. So because it's getting through quite a lot of juice, you're filling it up a lot, and then you have to contend with the fact that you can't fill it up that quickly. Drip tip wise, not bad. I believe it's just a straight 810, so you could probably put your own tip in there, but that's not loose, it doesn't fall out, and it's comfortable to use. Well impressed. So good job with this Steepd Vape Co. The quick kit you guys made was fantastic, and this I am actually very impressed with. And when you put it at a price point of $44.99,
someone who wants to delve into the realms of the sub-ohm vaping without it getting too complicated, without breaking the bank, I think this is going to be a kit for you guys. So check it out. I mean, you can find this at steepdvapeco.com. It's on their front page. You really can't miss it. I will drop that link in the description box of this video so you can find it yourselves. Let me know what you guys think. So I think that about wraps it up for this review of the Steepd Vape Co Emperor kit. You know, a decent mesh coil sub-ohm kit that is definitely going to be a contender to things like the Freemax and to the Prince stick. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please drop a comment below. And if you enjoy the videos that I'm making, consider subscribing to the channel. We've always got videos being uploaded all the time. I try and get them up sort of once, twice a week. And if there's anything you'd like me to review, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you again for watching. My name has been THISisCAS, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.